Into the radio Misfits. I am Pugs Moran. He is.
Hey, how you doing?
There he is. All right. How is everybody this evening? James, what's new? Sorry about last night. If I'm being honest with you, we could have done the show. It just would have been 20 minutes late because it came back up at 9:20 last night. But I figured you'd already committed yourself to whatever shenanigans you were getting into. What are you doing? You in a hostage situation? It looks like you're negotiating with a gunman that's just off camera. He has the look of fear in his eye as well. Are the police there? What's going on?
I have to have a conversation with my beautiful wife. Come on.
You looked very concerned. You looked like you were. I suggested that maybe there was an armed gunman just off camera because that was sort of the look you had on your face.
No, it's just every once in a while we have to go through our kids' phones.
Oh.
Yeah. So we haven't done it yet, but I just got assigned to do it. And I hate doing this. It's a bad job to do because it's like walking through a landmine or a minefield, I should say. And I haven't been hit by a mine yet, but I mean, World War I is kind of what it feels like.
All right, so explain this to me. I need to understand what you mean. You need to go through your kids' phones. You got kids a whole bunch of different age, so it's your responsibility this time around. You're on phone patrol. What does that mean? Phone patrol. You got to look.
You go through their You go through their photos. You go through their photo albums. You go through their deleted photos or their hidden folders. You go through their website browser history. You go through their YouTube browsing history. You go through anything you can find. They don't have Snapchat. They're not allowed to have most things, but they do have Messenger. So
that means they have them. You just don't know about them.
Well, you look for it. We're not idiots.
You'll find.
So yeah, we spy on our kids pretty hardcore, and of course we have their location services on for us at all times. So we always know where they're at. Anyway, what? Hang on.
Okay, here we go. All right. The reason I say this is because once again, I'm always shocked at the way kids are today. I have a 14-year-old myself, but I was Gen X. I would have died. The things that James just said are routine in his household that the kids just willingly accept and allow to happen. Parent going through everything. I would have just died in 1986. Gen X parents didn't give no shit. They didn't go looking through stuff. We were all there. Our privacy was respected, James.
They were like, wear rubber, don't get AIDS.
Yeah. No, well, it was just don't get AIDS because we thought, I was
bringing that up. That must have really scarred you. How often you bring that up on this show? You're like, there was AIDS when I was, coming of age. There was AIDS,
dude. I was in college before I realized you couldn't get it from toilet seats. That's how insane the information about AIDS was back then. Everybody was afraid, man. You have no idea. We went straight from nuclear apocalypse, bombs falling from the sky. We went straight from that in grade school right into AIDS. Just as we all started getting horny, they shut down the sex faucet. My generation got completely robbed. Okay, but anyway, so like what you're looking for scandalous stuff, or you're looking for like naughty pictures or that kind of thing? I mean,
anything like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What is the penalty for it depends, right? It depends on what you find. You find school plans and bomb-making equipment, that's one penalty, but you find boobs, maybe you just take the boy for a ride and you talk about it.
I just hadn't had to cross that road yet, so when we do it, it'll be a conversation with Miss Parker, and I don't know what what have you done? Has this been an issue with you yet?
No, but I mean, we pass our phones back and forth, and I know that's not. I mean, I go through my kid's phone all the time, but only because he gives it to me. I mean, I don't know. He swears and stuff, and he swears in front of me, and so we're totally comfortable with that. And we talk about sex and girls and all that kind of stuff because he's 14 and I'm his dad, and I'm appreciative of that. But does he like looking at porn and stuff? Probably, but I ain't never caught it, and I wouldn't know what I'd do. Again, I'm a Gen X kid. I might just be like, damn, he's 13. I don't know.
So you just spy on your kids? That's what you do. If you're a good parent these days, you can.
Yeah, push back on that. I don't know that I see you saying it, and I understand that you believe that's how you be a good parent. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. My oldest kid's 13. Your kid's 14, right?
Yeah.
Me and the wife have a very good close friend whose kid is 15, and she caught him with his girlfriend, and that's right around the corner, bro. That is right around the corner for you, and then hopefully a little bit longer for me. But
Yeah, I got a boy. You got a daughter. You got daughters. You got multiples.
it's that. I mean, that matters,
No,
but
it's
it's still an
worse.
issue.
No, it's worse. All right. Look, I have an angel. You have angels. We are not going to have problems. And should we have problems, we will discuss them then. But I'm not going to sit here and hypothetically, almost wish the spirits to dub that. We're lucky. We've got good kids so far.
I do not believe this, but the thought or the theory could be thrown out by some idiot out there. It's like, don't you wish another like fake AIDS pandemic would happen where all the kids would just like not do it for a while and just pay attention to their schoolwork, right? We can ruin their generation and their coming of age. If they happen to Pugs, it can happen to my kids, you know.
Yeah, it did. It happened to our generation. There were no threesomes in the 80s. There was no such thing. My generation, none of that stuff was on the table when I was having my sexual awakening. It was missionary. It was condoms.
Rick James and Easy E beg to differ.
No, that was 78, 79. No, I'm talking about how it all got shut down right around the time of Rock Hudson. And that's when I was coincidentally a junior in high school. The whole thing got shut down for like 5 years until Magic Johnson proved that you could live with it. And then your generation started having crazy, kinky sex.
Yeah, because the pendulum has to swing the other way. When we're told in 1990 by Arsenio Hall that Magic Johnson has AIDS, and it's the most lethal, deadly thing you've ever seen in your life. And not only is he still alive, but he's a billionaire. Killing it, man. He's living his best life, if anyone's best life. Oh my goodness!
You see that guy? He still dunks basketballs. He's had AIDS for 40 years. And
I'm so happy for him. I didn't think AIDS would work out this well. That's not what I was told, right? So how long did they get it? Okay. Hey,
look, we don't want to get YouTube banned or anything. We are being satirical. We, of course, know the difference between HIV and AIDS, and so stop it. Jesus.
Thank you. So, anything happening in the news or something?
No, but there is something happening that we do need to address. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff, but I do want to address something here right off the top because I see one of these people. Let me see who is in the chat room. Let's pay a little bit of attention here to the chat room, James, because I want to focus on that. Let's see here. Oh, Byron's not here. Byron is not here. We got Leslie, we got Jeff, we got Barney, we got who else? Al is here. All right, so we got a situation that is going on in the chat room, James, that is occurring between a couple of our chatters, and I'm being bugged about this on Twitter through not direct DMs, I don't know, just notifications or whatever. But apparently Leslie would like Byron banned from the chat room. Now Byron's not here tonight. This is weird. This is odd that Byron is not here. I don't know why. But Leslie, let me. Well, I mean, she sent it to me and she didn't make it private. So
wait, which Leslie?
This is Leslie Martin, who is in the chat room right now. Here are a couple of the notes that she has sent me over the past 24 hours concerning the behavior of one Byron in the chat room. Here's what she's had to say. Let me go through this. Oh my God, so popular with my notifications. These came from earlier today. Okay, so here we go. Boom. She says she talks to many people in the chat room. Says she's adding me and Ed of Radio Misfits at Pugs at Ed. I talked to many of the female chat roomers, and they say that Byron is the reason that they don't engage in the chat room often for fear that he might come after them like he's done me. And I'm like, okay, so I read that first. And I'm like, ooh, he's coming after her. What did I miss from the chat room? I got to pay attention to this. Here she goes on to say, where's the full mess? It's kind of out of joint here. She accuses him. So are you, then she sends me another note. So are you guys going to do something? I'm tired of having to constantly defend myself. So she's under attack, it appears, constantly from Byron. Um, and then she's bringing the other females in the chat room into it, saying that, they feel uncomfortable with it as well. There's an entire thing that's missing here. Sorry. There's where she accuses him of doing stuff. Anyway, she challenges me to go back and listen to it. Is Leslie got anything to say? Is she saying anything? Because James, you want to go ahead and read her, because she should be allowed to defend herself, even if it is on delay.
Yeah, so she's scrolling on the side. I can compile some of her latest ones. First off, she said yes, she would like him banned because he's a vulgar troll. She also wanted to reiterate that your generation was swapping partners back in the day. She also says, if he didn't directly come at me, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's responding there to the hot blonde Leslie. Leslie, just ignore him. If he didn't come at me directly at me, I would, Leslie. So that's one of the problems. She's saying he directly comes at her, and to a point that she can't ignore it.
Well, she sent me a note where, she was saying that exactly that he's just relentless and he does this all the time. Now, I've known Byron in the chat room for going back 20 years now. So whatever, all of the longtime chat room people have their idiosyncrasies, but they're all decent people, and the bad ones have fallen off the wayside. So for her to get me to consider banning Byron from the chat room, that's going to have to be pretty serious, because, Byron's old school. So
here's a reflexive comment right here. Jeff Ballard says she brings it on herself at times. Is that so, Leslie? Do you provoke him or bring it on yourself at times? See, and look, he made me cry. How can a commenter on a dumb live stream make you cry? I don't.
Well, James, that's the thing. So I went back and I listened. I didn't listen, because all concerned was the chat conversation. So I was just fast forwarding and clicking through the YouTube from yesterday, and I read the entire chat exchange between Byron and Leslie. And I want to read it to you, okay? I've transcribed it. You can see I put some work into this, because I want to make sure that we get this right. So I want to read it to you, James, and now you tell me what's going on here, okay? This chat occurs 23 minutes into yesterday's episode of the High Noon Show. This is not today's. This is the one from yesterday's. Occurs 23 minutes in. I'm talking on the show about Joe Biden walking the picket line, which was a big story yesterday. I said, Joe Biden's walking the picket line. Byron in the chat room says 7-1 odds that Biden trips. Right? That's Byron. That's what Byron does. That's,
it's pretty funny.
Right.
On brand.
And of course you get it. So that's what Byron does. Leslie says to Byron at this point, work on your material, Byron. It makes no sense. Okay. So Byron is just making a general joke about Biden, and now Leslie has taken upon herself to engage with Byron specifically because she doesn't like his joke, right? And that's what it is. James, any thoughts on that right there? She's engaging him. Seems pretty clear.
I mean, I'm okay with everything so far.
It's chat room behavior. It's just people, jawing at each other. Byron then responds with, well, if you're the judge of sense, I'll be fine. Okay. They got a little tete-a-tete back and forth, but, nothing too bad.
Philosophically speaking, if he doesn't hold your opinion in high regard, then he's not going to take much offense to it. And so just let you know, no offense was caused.
There you go. You guys do not have to be friends.
It's not even really offensive or defensive. It's just kind of deflective.
And then Leslie says, how so, Byron? In what way are you implying that I don't have sense? In what way, Byron? So let me read it again. This is what Leslie says. How so, Byron? In what way are you implying that I don't have sense? In what way, Byron? Now, this is in response to Byron just saying, if you're the judge of sense, I'll be fine. And why did Byron say that? Because Leslie engaged with, work on your material, Byron. It makes no sense. So where did this little engagement begin?
Well, she says go back further. She says you're wrong on the timeline. She said She's
Okay, okay, we can go back further, but let me just go from here because I'm not wrong about the timeline. This is the only relevant timeline. You guys were talking about other things, and things seem to be fine. Go ahead, James. You seem to want to say something.
okay. So this is the right timeline. Why is she saying go back further? What happened before this?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely stupid little back and forth. Certainly nothing that would get me to ban Byron. Here's what I'm trying to show. I'm trying to show what is actually happening in the chat room and how I don't think Leslie's being altogether truthful with me about it because she knows I'm not paying attention. So today I went back and I paid attention. And here, let's pick it up from here, okay? Leslie says Leslie is now pushing Byron to engage about why she makes no sense, right? Byron's just like moving on. He wants to do another Biden joke. That's Byron's whole thing. But Leslie is engaging him. How so, Byron? In what way are you implying that I don't have sense? In what way, Byron? Byron then responds with, it's not material. Speaking of Biden comes out as jokes naturally. So what is he saying there? He's saying, okay, calm down. All right, it's not important. All right, we're going back and forth. Stop it. Tap the brakes. Right? That's basically what he's saying. Is that what you would get from that?
Totally. I'm following. Yep.
Yeah. So Leslie says, how so, Byron? In what way are you implying that I don't have sense? In what way, Byron? To which Byron responds, it's not material. Speaking of Biden comes out as jokes naturally. Like he's just making jokes about the president. That's it. Boom. That should be over. But no, Leslie fires back with, what have I ever said nonsensical, Byron? Now we're going all capitals. Now we're going all cap. Byron has just made it absolutely clear that this silly argument is not material and that he's just making jokes about Biden and that he would like to move on. That's what he's saying there. Leslie says, no, she now wants evidence of her being nonsensical, which I might point to that very moment. Say right now, you are being nonsensical.
Man, it's really hard with the all caps thing. Like that's just when people lose their cool. That's what all caps means is you're yelling at me.
Then Leslie responds again, your jokes aren't funny, Byron. Okay. So leave it alone. That's fine. Okay. You've made it clear his jokes aren't funny. And then Byron says, because Byron shouldn't be forced to just sit here and take this. At some point, Byron should be able to go, hey, you know what? And he does. Byron says, and referred to Leslie telling him that his jokes aren't funny. He says, neither were any of yours, Leslie, or you'd still be in comedy. Okay. Which is kind of a shot because Leslie talks all the time about how she's, had this, she was a comedian and all this stuff. Okay, now you know that he's poking her. Now he's like, I'm gonna fuck with her. Now he's like, I'm gonna see how nuts I can get her. And she goes off. Here's what Leslie responds to that with.
Is this in all caps?
Yeah.
Really? Actually, you continue with the all caps, Leslie?
I don't know.
What it makes you look like?
I don't know if this is still all caps. I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, then I take that back. I'm sorry, Leslie. I was fed bad information.
Some of it is all caps. And we'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. We'll watch it. Well, I'm just reading it because we're going to show it to you as well so you can watch it unfold in real time. Leslie says when Byron responds with, neither are your jokes are funny either. Neither are yours, Leslie, or you'd still be in comedy. Leslie responds with, actually, I quit comedy because my first husband didn't like me going out on the road and being housed in rooms with other men. I had network executives that used to take my calls. She then says, so I quit trying and saved my marriage of 20 years. All right, no, so she quit comedy. She quit a comedy career where she had network executives taking her call to save her marriage because isn't that the noble and honorable thing to do? This is the problem that people always have with Leslie in the chat room. It's this over the top, I mean, she just says things that rub people the wrong way. And right here in this exchange with Byron, Leslie, you want me to ban him, but I'm reading this and I'm seeing you're the problem here. You're the one that kept pushing it. Why can't you just let him alone? Why can't you just ignore him? Other people do. James?
Well, I've been on the other side of the fence where I have had to ban people from live chats before on different shows. And so the worst one was when I was doing the morning show for Waco and I had it on a whole bunch of platforms. It was when all this stuff started, and so I was on Periscope. Remember Periscope?
Yeah.
There were people who would flood the chat room with just comment after comment after comment, to where even if someone else commented, it would just scroll out within seconds, and you couldn't really have a conversation there. And so I've always said I'm never banning anybody. I'm, just whatever, free speech or whatever. But sometimes you just have to, and then sometimes,
Troublemakers. Just
yeah. And so I've actually seen it. There is a line. I am not this philosophical absolutist that I'm all for free speech, and if anybody wants to leave a comment, they can't. No, if it's some bot that comes in, it's like, hey, you can make $1,000 a day working from home, just click this link. You do have to ban people. And then you have to ban people who are being a-holes, and you have to ban people who are running off more people than they bring in.
I think we have a very nice chat situation here. I want to put this up from Leslie, because I want you to take some deep breaths here, Leslie. Don't go panicking and freaking out here. You want to leave, you can leave. That's fine. But here's what she says: I won't chat anymore, ever. Why so fatalistic? Nobody wants you to never chat again. You're a wonderful part of the chat room. Why so freaking dramatic? Do you see how you drive people nuts?
Can you just block him? You can just block him, right?
Right. She says he DMs me. I don't know that to be true, Leslie. You are saying that is true. This is the first I've ever heard of that. If Byron is DMing you and harassing you, then yeah, we've got a real problem, and I need to take your complaint a lot more seriously. But this is not information that I have ever been made aware of until right now.
Look here, this is the update. She had to block him this morning on Twitter. Okay, if you block him and he gets like an alt account and keeps bugging you, and it's a little more than that, then fine. Well, I mean, what are we gonna do? Say something to him? I'm not his dad, but I'll say something, because Byron is I don't want screenshots. Do not send me screenshots. I'm not going through that.
Yeah, it's not. Go ahead. You send them. You post them to Twitter. You at me. That's fine. I don't care. But yeah, we're not going to clog up the chat room here, because we're not even done. We haven't even gotten to the portion or the part of this thing where, she was crying. Remember, you just read where she said she was crying after this exchange. We haven't even gotten to that part yet. So let's get to it.
Over. Okay.
So Byron says, neither were any of your jokes, Leslie, or you'd still be in comedy. Leslie then says, I quit comedy because my first husband didn't like me going on the road and being housed in rooms with other men. I had network executives that used to take my calls. Leslie then says, so I quit to try and save my 20-year marriage. Byron then says, TLDR. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
That means too long, didn't read. So
okay. Okay, that's very funny. It's because that's the problem with Leslie. She overshares, and she says way too much stuff. Leslie then responds with, but her first husband, but he was bipolar and wouldn't take his meds, and then he tried to push me out of my car while I was driving home from Texas de Brazil in Fort Worth on 35.
Wait, who did?
Leslie said that her first husband, who she gave up her comedy career with the TV executives to save the marriage, turns out he was bipolar and tried to push her out of a car.
Well, good call on that one, Leslie.
Yeah, that was a miscalculation.
Comedy career, great judgment. And you married a guy who's capable of that, if it happened.
So here's what Byron responds to that from Leslie.
Why is your door doing open? You don't have a seatbelt on? There's some questions on this.
So Leslie writes, but he was bipolar and wouldn't take his meds, and then he tried to push me out of my car while I was driving home from Texas de Brazil in Fort Worth on 35. To which Byron responds, ditto. That's funny.
Look, I think we're all feeling it, man. Right here. Wait. Just make out already. Just
right. Yeah, let's just get you two crazy kids together. But Leslie's starting it. Leslie keeps going. All right, so now he's poking the bear and he's on a roll, right? He's dropping some pretty funny lines. She's getting real serious and she's talking about, things in her life and all that kind of stuff, being very serious. And then he's just, he's just every other. He's, yeah. All right, so it continues. Leslie says mental health issues can be inherited. She just randomly says that. I don't know apropos of what, but she just throws that out there. And Byron says, so your folks were oversharing psychos too?
He's just taking scalps. That's all.
That's just that one was a little heavy-handed. He could have been a little bit more fancy with it, but sure. He just, like you said, he went with scalps. All right, so let's break this down because this, I think, is the really important part, and I shouldn't laugh at it because, maybe it mean he's just so mean and funny. I just think he's funny. I'm sorry. I just think Byron's funny. He
Well,
didn't hurt anybody. He's a good guy. He's a big, dumb old Texan. I love him. And he just doesn't hurt nobody. Just don't take him seriously. That's all, he's funny. he's great. But so is Leslie. Leslie is great too. But they are just two completely different people because Leslie is a drama queen, always has been. And Byron has just been waiting his whole life for a drama queen to just, hang out in a chat room with every day. And that's what we got.
yeah, so just make out already.
All right, so here we go. Byron said, Leslie says, mental health issues can be inherited. Byron says, so your folks were oversharing psychos too. Leslie then shoots back with, don't talk about my parents, Byron. I cared for them both when they died. My dad of dementia and mom of multiple strokes.
Stop. He just called you what, an oversharing psycho, and then you list the cause of death of your parents? Like did he?
I know. It's like you just walked right into what he said.
You're like a fly going, is this a spider web?
And that has nothing to do with anything. What he just said, the little one-liner that he shot back at you after you got preachy with him, the little one-liner had nothing to do with a condemnation of your parents' struggle or any kind of marginalization of your effort to keep them alive. That is not what he was saying. But you took the opportunity to play the victim there, Leslie. That's what's happening.
How on earth could he possibly have known the cause of death of your parents or even cared to know?
Exactly. How dare you, my mother? It's like you don't get to play that card because he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. You didn't care. And now you created this situation where you're hurt for a stupid reason because why are you hurt? He didn't know. And you need to get over it. He didn't intentionally try to hurt you by bringing up some terrible thing from your past. He was making a funny joke. Okay, so anyway, Leslie. Leslie says mental health issues can be inherited. He says, so your folks were oversharing psychos too. And then she says, don't talk about my parents, Byron. I cared for them both when they died. My dad of dementia, mom of multiple strokes. Byron says, you missed the oversharing part. Leslie, no, I ignored it. Sharing is what the chat room is here for. Byron says, they may be faking dementia to avoid talking to you or to avoid conversation. I just fixed it a little.
Okay, I'm
all right.
Keep going. This is great. It's good stuff.
So now she is like she's got. I don't know what to say. Everybody goes through nonsense. You're going through some nonsense right now, right? I mean, you're watching your dad. We all go through it.
We got to smile on the kids after the show.
So it doesn't make you special, and it doesn't coat you in titanium from the barbs of other people who you're doing verbal combat with. Okay, you don't get to use that. You don't get to go because who knows what Byron takes care of. I don't know Byron. Byron could be any number of things. All right, so then it goes on. She says she ignores it. He says they may all be faking dementia to avoid conversation. Leslie says, hence why many of us have known each other from this old chat room for decades. And then Byron says, Leslie, you were weird and long-winded then too. He's just slaying her. And she's walking into it because she allows herself to be triggered because she seems to be trying to be the center of the drama here. If it's not about her husband who's bipolar, it's about her taking care of her parents, and it's about whatever it is that can make Byron the bad guy. And I'm sorry, Leslie, I don't see in this situation Byron being the bad guy. What I see is Byron trying to walk away from it very early on by saying, well, Biden jokes just come naturally. Never mind. He was trying to walk away from it, and then you turned it into a whole thing.
You went back to that first fork in the road. Okay.
That's where I think it all went haywire. Byron was just being typical Byron dick, and then Leslie wouldn't let it go. She was like a dog on a bone. He tried to walk away, and now she wants him banned. And I go back and I watch it. I write the whole transcript down, and all I can think of is, I'm not banning anybody. I don't want to ban either of these two people. But geez, man. I mean, one is obviously the aggressor here, and it was Leslie, in my opinion. Now, you want to watch it? We can watch it.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Let's pull this up. Let's see. And I will do
escalate from here?
what's that?
Is it about to escalate from here?
No, no, it's just that, I want to see how I want to show you how it played out, and we'll go back because Leslie seems to be saying that I'm leaving stuff out. So I think that's fair. Let me go back and look. It's possible. All right, so this is from 2 days ago. Now this is, if I don't know if you can see, but at this point, Leslie is saying, work on your material, Byron. That made no sense, right?
I can see that.
So this is where it starts with the Biden joke.
And you're starting in the wrong place.
Right. So, but we're going to go back because she says that this is where we started with Byron's 7-1 odds. He trips at some point. Because remember, I was talking about him walking the picket line. So this whole thing started, at least the ugliness here. Now she wants me to go back, right? So we'll go back. So we'll go all the way back to the beginning. And we will look for the very first interactions between Leslie and Byron. Okay, so here we got Leslie. She's saying hello. I mean, luckily, there's not enough action in the chat room that this will take long. Hello, everyone. Right? Not a whole lot. Let's keep going. All right, let's jump forward a lot because. All right. Or at this point, look, she's laughing.
He's already talking to Byron.
She's LOL Byron.
Oh,
Byron.
you're getting along swimmingly. Y'all make out. All right, back up. Let's see what Byron said.
Byron said my first TV crush was the blind sister on Little House on the Prairie.
No, you have to back it up.
I have to back it up?
Yes.
It's right here.
Yeah. But if she's LOLing Byron.
Right. I think that's what she's LOLing. See, we were, I don't know what, they both were smoking hot yet innocent. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, we're talking about Ellie Mae Clampett here, but yeah, she's LOLing this. So let's just see where this goes. All right, let's see if they have any more interaction here.
Was there a bug tussle reference?
I don't know. I didn't see it. Did you?
Well, no, I'm just saying because it was a Beverly Hillbillies reference, and I live in Bug Tussle.
Okay. Nope. Byron. Nothing between Leslie and Byron. Nothing. He
says Serena is built like a man. I just wanted to note that.
Okay. Byron says, okay, so Leslie's talking about Burt. We're talking about Burt Campbell from the TV show Soap. He had a birthday. Byron is now making an empty nest reference because Burt Campbell was on Empty Nest. And okay, so that's it. Leslie just randomly says me and my bestie go to the Byron Nelson most years in Las Colinas.
Overshare.
It has nothing to do with Byron, the other Byron, but there you go. Paul Newman has amazing salad dressings. Okay. So now. Okay. So here we go. Now we're at the point where I'm talking about Biden walking the picket line, and Leslie says, Paul Newman has made. Byron says, what's Biden going to do? Be a tire? Like he's going to Detroit. He's going to be a tire. Leslie says, glad Biden has gone to support the auto workers, unlike what he did with the railroad workers.
And there is 7-1 odds he trips at some point.
What did I miss, James? Was there something that I missed? Was I not fair? Did I not give you the entire conversation between these two? The conversation that Leslie wants him banned for life for?
There we go. That's it.
So Byron stays, right?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Leslie, don't bring false charges into this courtroom again, okay? Now, if you do, in fact, feel like he is harassing you on other platforms, that's a problem. But it's not my problem. So you're going to have to call the police or do whatever it is that you people are going to do. But my chat room is the only thing that I care about here. All right.
Oh, excuse me.
James, what do you got? You got anything else? I just wanted to go through that.
Well, a couple things I found out recently. There was, what year was it? It was like 1972, I think it was. But the guy who was running the Red Sox, the GM of the Red Sox, I think it was, had an idea. It's like, why don't we bring back Satchel Paige to pitch just one night only? And we'll sell a whole bunch of tickets on like just a random Thursday or whatever. It'll be a great publicity stunt. And they're like, well, Satchel Paige is 59 years old. It's like, nah, we'll just throw him out there for like an inning. And, the guys will just it'll be at the very end of the season when the game didn't matter or whatever. So they actually scheduled it, and he had been retired, but he'd only been retired for 12 years. This dude played until he was 47, which is like,
Satchel Paige?
yeah.
They don't know because they don't know when he was born. He didn't have a birth certificate, so he could have been 60.
I know. So jump the line on me there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I didn't have like a big reveal.
Oh,
But that was just something I was going to spice in there. But no, it's worth throwing in there. We're not actually sure of his age, but the generally accepted Wikipedia age. But he gets out there after he's been retired. He's 59, and they let him pitch 3 innings, three innings. And the only person who got on base and stayed on base, there was another person who hit on base, but he got out trying to steal third, was Carl Yastrzemski, who hit a double.
yes. His grandson, Mike Yastrzemski, is
So
in the league now.
So Satchel Paige at 59 years old, just for what started to be a publicity stunt after he did the first inning, they were like, leave him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left him in, and he put down 9 out of 10 batters to get through 3 innings to close out. And that's the oldest anyone was to play in the major leagues. Now, that was just a stunt. The oldest person to play and like have sort of a steady career was some guy before color was invented. Not to make a joke, but I really just, if it's so old they didn't have anything in color, I just disregard it. Right?
It's not real baseball. It was just a bunch of white guys. I don't consider it real sports until they let all different, black guys play with white guys.
There's no argument against that, really. You're not wrong. You are not wrong to say that.
Any record set in a time when it was just white guys is like a you know what I mean? It's like,
I hate even reading that stuff because it's embarrassing. It's like, hey, you had the white home run record? Is that what you had?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you had. Yeah.
All right.
Embarrassing. But so the oldest guy that played continuously was in black and white. And then the oldest dude to play in the modern era continuously with the longest career was Julio Franco.
Sure.
Who played professional baseball somewhere. It was in like Mexico and then Japan and then back in the United States. And when he was late in his 40s until he's like 47. So what this means is I'm about to be the same age as the oldest professional anything ever. I'm 46. And I'm about, this much narcissist where I just have to like take it from my own point of view and be like, God damn it, I'm old, dude.
Did you know this? I know you feel the aging now as it gets dimmer and dimmer as you age with every year. But do you remember the point in your life? And I do, and it was sobering. And this is kind of, I guess, how we frame it in our mind. I remember sitting at a baseball game at like 33, 34 years old, thinking I'm still young. I'm 33, 34, sitting at a baseball game and realizing that I would be retiring. If I was one of these if I was out on the field, I would be grandpa of the team. And I'm like, holy shit. And now I think about that. And that was like, what, 20 years ago? Holy cow. Now I'm like the old GM or manager or whatever.
Yeah. And so I, being more of a football fan, not to diminish baseball, I'll do that in other instances, but
you diminish all you want, son.
What kind of hit me like a bucket of cold water was when Tony Romo became the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It was the first time the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys was younger than me. And so I feel like an idiot because I'm in the 105.3 studios at the bottom of the totem pole making parody songs about a guy that's younger than me.
Oh, dude, I've had this experience. I'm a bit older than you. Maybe you haven't had it yet with your favorite teams, but I have seen the head coach of my favorite football team be younger than me twice in a row now. My favorite head coach of my college team is much younger than me. He's like 15 years younger than me. The next big hurdle, James, that's going to be a gut punch to me is president.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I remember my parents saying that. They're like, wow.
James, there is a Supreme Court justice who is younger than me. It's only by a couple of months, but she's younger than me. It kills me. It's that Coney Bryant.
So What's the last boundary like that you crossed that you remember?
Supreme Court justice. That one was just recent. Yeah, it was when I realized that I was older than I would not be the youngest person on the Supreme Court. Like, I'm too young to be on this. You know, that's how you want to think of yourself. And I'm like, no, there are people up there that are younger than me.
All right, a couple things to address from the chat room. First off, Al says he's on hydrocodone. Congratulations.
Why? Why you want? Oh, knee replacement. Oh, Al, baby.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, pal. Yeah, but enjoy the ride, kid. Just, get out of the couch, get comfortable, enjoy the ride. You earned it.
my mom has had both of her knees replaced. The last one was just 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's barely walking right now.
I would never suggest that you maybe do a shot of alcohol. I would never suggest that.
But it has been your experience when you actually
It's just been my experience that a couple of hydrocodone and you know what? Maybe a beer or two. It's just a really nice way to fall asleep. I would never suggest that because that's reckless and I know better.
You're not going to believe this, but I don't like hydrocodone or any of the opioids that you get from going to the dentist. But I was co-hosting a show in New Orleans with John Osterlin, who loved those things. And it was the weirdest thing. If I left them on my desk, they would go missing. Not that I would give them to him because that's illegal, but every once in a while, when I would get back from the dentist and go to work,
Right.
I would leave them in my cubicle, and I wouldn't have proof that he took them, but it was just this weird coincidence that they always went missing. But
well, of course, yeah.
But it was funny how some people, like, I take them and it's like, I'm glad the pain went away, but now I don't really feel like eating, and I feel like I didn't like it. I'd rather sometimes the pain wasn't that bad, and I would leave them on my desk.
I love painkillers. Don't get me wrong. Painkillers are great. I just can't take those. I can't take opioids. They give me the scratchies. Like I break out and I might get real itchy. So I get like an allergic reaction to them. So they got to give me other things.
Well,
and the other things work great.
He thought I was insane. He's like, I can't believe you're giving this to me. I can't believe you're leaving these on your desk.
They're lucky. Here, James, I want to show you something. I know we like to talk about what we're watching on TV, and we've only got a little bit of time left, so I wanted to get this in tonight. So I'm watching a new series. I'm Mr. UFO guy. Hi, love the whole UFO thing. There's a new series called Encounters on Netflix that just posted tonight or something. I don't know, whatever. It's on their splash page when you open it up. New. It's called Encounters. It's a 4-part docu-series. It's about 4 different very high-profile situations where UFOs were at the center. Mass sightings, mass encounters with UFOs. Stephenville from Erath County from back in 2008 is the first episode. So the very first hour is all about the Stephenville incident that me and Kelly covered like crazy. It was like big because I'm Mr. UFO guy.
I don't remember this. What was the Stephenville incident?
By the way, I was watching Encounters on Netflix today. They mentioned Live 105.3 and how they made fun of the UFO situation. Okay, thank you. Burying the lead here. Yeah, James. So I'm watching this. I was checking it out. Here, this is something that they show. Yeah. All right. So this is one of the boom, boom. What the heck? How do I make it bigger? There we go. Okay. So yeah. So in the series, they're talking about the Stephenville incident, and then they start talking about how the onslaught of media from all around the country was coming from everywhere. And then some guy goes, if you can read it, there's wait, hold on. Wait, let me find it for you because I like the way he says it. There were some radio stations out of Fort Worth that came on down here and made fun of the whole thing. And they show our truck, which I love. And those are Jagger Mafia shirts. So that was Jagger's team.
Good for them. Get them.
That might even be Jagger there. While as I'm looking at this guy right here, but that is definitely a Jagger Mafia shirt from back in the day. What is the Stephenville incident? Is that what you're looking to?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So the Stephenville incident is one of the most widely seen mass sightings of a UFO that occurred right here in Stephenville, between Dublin and Stephenville back in 2008. It was big. It was huge. I mean, we were all over it. It made national news.
That's just kind of southwest of Fort Worth, a couple hours.
Yeah, and the reason that it was like such a big deal was because of the people who saw it. It wasn't just like it was so many people, the cops and mayors and judges and surgeons, and all of these people saw this thing and basically talked about it. And it became sort of the center. Stephenville became the center of the UFO community for a good period of time. The Stephenville UFO made multiple appearances too, came back a couple of times. And the oldsters, they'll tell you that particular area of Texas has seen those kinds of things going back generations. So something's going on out there in Stephenville. But this particular incident that is profiled in the new Netflix series Encounters is about the one in 2008 that sort of got everybody globally their attention. It was really a big deal. Well, here, we'll see if there's video of the Stephenville.
Netflix.com and just play that part of the documentary.
No, can we do that? Is that a thing?
Well, in another window, open Netflix.com and sign in, and it just plays on a browser window. It is that easy. Call now and we'll double your order.
Excuse me.
What the heck's the matter with you?
I was raised poorly.
Hey, you're wearing a Notre Dame shirt. How they doing?
They're pretty good, actually. Thank you very much.
Is that where they're at? 5-0?
No, they're 3-1.
Ooh, who'd they lose to?
Shut up. Are you honestly being a dick? They lost a heartbreaker in the final second to Ohio State on Saturday night on national TV. We had the game won. There was 1 second left.
I'm sorry, I didn't keep up. I didn't.
I know you don't, but it's crushing to me. But yes, we were 3-0. We've got a Heisman candidate in our quarterback, Sam Hartman. We like him.
Sure you do.
All right. Here, what's this? I think this is about the Stephenville UFO. Oh, shit. Hold on. Here we go.
Hit the button. Here, I'll hit it.
Is there no sound? Oh, here we go.
Or just a mystery.
Here we go. All right, let's see what they say here. Okay.
Here, I'll get under it. Make it look bigger.
Right. Make it bigger. There you go. All right, here we go.
Our next video takes us to Texas at a strange sighting in the sky that alarmed a group of friends. Was it proof of a UFO or just a mystery the size of the Lone Star State? September 2018. It's a warm night in Tomball, Texas, just north of Houston.
It. Never mind. Okay. Some stupid.
There's another one in Tomball. Are these all
a whole bunch of them? But no, the Stephenville is like a world. I'll pull it up the Wikipedia page for Stephenville UFO. That's how big it is. It's got its own Wikipedia page.
Why can't you just find it on that documentary real quick?
Stephenville UFO Wikipedia. Because I don't want to use a Netflix chunk.
Are we going to get a copyright protection?
Yeah. And you know how many of those I got? I can't be racking them up. You want to talk to Ed about it?
Ed gets us out of all of them. Ed, what's the paragraph you send to people to get out of those complaints? Because I've had multiple channels shut down at this point. You have some support for your Notre Dame.
I can't find the damn Stephenville thing. And I'm not going to show. You know what I will do? Here's what I will do. I will see if there is, yes. I will see if there's a trailer for the show, and we will show the show, and we'll show the trailer. That, James, I am comfortable with. How about you?
I'm comfortable with all of it. I get my videos blocked all the time. I'm totally
all right, you know what? Never mind. There's one that just comes up. It says Encounters, Netflix, Stephenville. So let's just go with that, right? No, that's not it. Encounter. All right, here we go. Here's the trailer. Hold on.
The very first time I saw something in the sky, I really hesitated to say anything to anybody.
This is where it landed.
Half of it doing lights. It was like the core orgy.
I was at one with whatever it was.
They looked like identical twins.
It had a very big head.
Cigar shape.
What it was, we don't know.
This was not a one-off event. These things happen all the time. They happen all the time.
Since the 1940s, we've been told.
I don't want to get it. I just thought maybe there would be a thing about Stephenville. I'm surprised you don't know about Stephenville. I thought everyone was a UFO nerd like me.
What year did it happen?
2008.
Well, that's fairly recent.
If you're old. My 14-year-old wouldn't consider that fairly recent. He'd think that's a year before he was born.
Yeah, they think Taylor Swift is old. But the other references were like from the 40s or since the 40s, or some of these other like War of the Worlds type stuff could be in black and white as well. I didn't know this incident was after I was an adult.
You're so cute. What you don't know. Anyway, there is another thing that I want to talk about, James. Are you familiar with?
Well, look, I found an AP report. Certainly, they're sharing that. Can we do that?
What's that? What do you got?
Share. Ugh. This one. It's 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of news reports. I was just looking. Oh, it's video. It is video. Okay, good. Yeah. Let's see.
American small town. The folks here are.
Yeah.
Stephenville, Texas is a typical American small town. The folks here are proud of their high school's football team and proud to be the #1 dairy county in the state. Stephenville may be typical, but what's happening in the skies above it is another story.
It kind of is the talk of the town right now.
Angela Joyner is a reporter with the town's newspaper. She's now on the strangest and possibly the biggest story of her life. For days, people have been emailing and calling the newsroom saying they've seen a UFO.
It was very intense, bright lights. I keep hearing that over and over and over, and they spanned a wide area.
It's so fast when it took off, and it made not a sound.
Ricky Sorrells was deer hunting in these woods when he says the UFO stopped and hovered just over his head.
And I did just like this, and I could see it. And if you look at the trees, it's right here. I mean, it's 300 foot up, right here.
Sorrells thought about shooting at the object, but didn't want to start an interstellar war, so he lowered his gun and hightailed it back to the house. He still isn't sure what he saw.
I would like to think that it was man-made. I would like to think that. To know that, I don't know.
Right there, east-northeast, is right here, right in this direction, right here. I saw it at about 70 degrees up from the horizon.
Jason Lee also saw the object, describing it as a bright light in the sky, brighter than a star and larger. It isn't the first time Lee has seen a UFO.
There it is right there.
In 1995, he took this video of what he says was a flying saucer over his hometown of Cleburne, Texas, and he believes this recent sighting was not of this earth.
What I thought it was obviously some technology from another dimension, another world. I don't know. I'm not going to say little green men.
According to the Mutual UFO Network, there are about 200 reported UFO sightings a month in the U.S. The network is sending investigators to look into these recent reports. Rich Matthews, The Associated Press, Stephenville.
If you really want to learn about the Stephenville incident, just watch the episode 1 of Encounters. It's all about the Stephen. You should watch it tonight. You'll enjoy it. It is very interesting and it's very good and it's done seriously. It's not like, that was a news report from like 24 hours after the incident when it started to become a big national news story. The Encounters show that was just released yesterday, and there's been like 20 years of research and people got their story straight. You know what I mean? It's more fleshed out. We have more information. Netflix, it's called Encounters. Now, James, there is one other thing I wanted to mention. Another thing that I want you to watch. I watched one episode of it. It's another docuseries. I love the docuseries. It's called Who Killed Jill Dando? It's on Netflix. Have you ever heard of Jill Dando?
No idea.
No, I did. I didn't hear it in 20 years, but I do remember when this happened. Jill Dando was basically, here's the easiest way for me to make it connect for you in your head. Jill Dando was the Katie Couric of London. She was the Katie Couric of BBC. She was a megastar in England. She was everybody's next door neighbor. They adored her. In fact, She was most famous because of her haircut, which was called the Dando. And now her haircut was basically the haircut that everyone thinks was Princess Diana's haircut. But it wasn't. Princess Diana saw her on TV and went, I want that haircut. And then Princess. So anyway, she's a massive, massive star, James. One day she was walking to her house and she was assassinated on her doorstep. This is a morning show TV. This is Katie Couric. She doesn't do hard news. She doesn't do that kind of thing. Anyway, there is a 4-part documentary. It's brand new. It's on Netflix. Who Killed Jill Dando? And dude, it is crazy. Why she was killed and why she was assassinated and why something. Do you know who Arkan is? The warlord, the Romanian warlord. No,
Nope.
I'm sorry. He's a Bosnian warlord.
I know even fewer
Yeah.
Bosnian warlords than Romanian.
He's
Yes.
the number one subject. It was the largest murder investigation in the history of the United Kingdom. Scotland Yard, the Queen of England was demanding daily updates from the police on who killed the Katie Couric of England. They were all freaked out about it, and they believe that it was the biggest theory that they believe is that it's Arkan, who is a Bosnian warlord who didn't like that she ran a charity that was giving money to Serbian refugees or something. So she was killed for the charity work that she was doing in like global, war-torn parts of Europe. And that's why they think. But it's been 20 years. Imagine the biggest star in American television is murdered on her doorstep. And for 20 years, the police are like, I don't know. We don't know. There was one guy they tried very early on. They arrested a guy. They booked him. They tried him. They convicted him. He went to jail. And after 7 years, the courts went, yeah, he didn't do it. This DNA doesn't match. So they had to let him go. And now the cops are like, yeah, that guy, I guess, didn't do it. We don't know who did it.
Is that George?
George?
What was his name? Barry.
Are you checking it out? Are you looking at the?
Yeah. I have it pulled up over here. The Jill Dando situation. I can share out. It's just the Wikipedia page, but might as well let you in on the secrets over here. I was trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about. And first off, the way you describe the haircut's perfect. That's it right there. Boom.
Yeah, here, wait, let me show you something. I just found the trailer. We'll just show you the trailer so you can see. It's
Okay.
it's exceptionally good. I will say that. Here we go.
Exceptional.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting. It's really I thought, oh, how do I make this bigger?
You just did.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't perfect big. I like it perfect big. That's what she said. There you go. All right, watch this. You guys will enjoy this. It's true. It looks exactly like Diana.
It's not moving. Sir. It's not moving, sir. Excuse me, sir.
So I remember when that initially happened, James. It was a pretty big news story, and I remember I didn't know who the person was, but I remember when this big BBC television person was killed, and it was shocking. And it's but I'd never thought about it again. And just the idea that somebody who was that big and that famous, they just stopped looking. I mean, isn't that weird? How it's been 23 years. You would think it's the largest police investigation, criminal investigation in the history of the United Kingdom.
Yeah, so none of us heard that, by the way. I thought you were just laying out on me.
We didn't hear that.
No, I tried to stop it.
Why didn't the sound work? Why didn't the sound work? Because it was.
Well, look, if at the end of the story you're going to tell me they still don't know who killed her, that's surprising.
They don't
I
know.
thought you were going to tell me, oh, we finally found out after all these years it was so and so.
They don't know.
They still don't know.
I feel bad. I wasted everybody's time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. You good?
Good night, y'all.
Yeah, sorry.